It's Glow Time, which is Apple's new event for their iPhone 16 series and their Apple Watch 10s and probably whatever else they release at that point. But it's going to be at the Steve Jobs Theater at Apple Park, September 9th. So about 10 or plus days away, 2 weeks away. And then usually what happens, they usually release the lesser phone, if I'm not mistaken, like on a week later, so like September 16th, and then the Pro versions would come out the 23rd. So that's kind of what you're looking at pretty much that week when you'd release the phones. The phones aren't going through a major change at all in terms of looks or features or anything like that. It's really just like slightly better camera, better battery life, better performance, one of those kind of updates. Not terribly exciting, but it should be happening, and they're gonna sell a ton of these phones. Why do you buy an iPhone? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story has to do with the Galaxy S25 and how amazing it looks, the Ultra version of this phone. Tech Avenue came out with some renders that he created based off what we saw with Ice Universe, and it gives you a good indication of what the phone's going to look like with the smaller bezels, the rounded corners, and the big or bigger display on there, 6.86 inch display with this phone, the 2K Plus. They could push 4K if they wanted to, especially if they end up putting in a Snapdragon 8 Gen 4 in here, which is what we kind of expect. When I see the side of the phone, man, it's eerily reminiscent to an iPhone, really, really much so. And I know the new Pixel phones are kind of like that as well. And this, when I look at that, it kind of looks like an iPhone to me on the side there. What do you guys think? I think that's a better question to say. But again, this is one of those things where we're getting a very similar phone. They have changed it every single year or two, a little bit incrementally, but not a lot of physical changes in general. The phone just keeps getting better battery life, better performance, better cameras, like everything's just getting better. But again, it's not these huge leaps and changes and bounds that go into the next future of this. And I know this is a 25 Ultra, but when I even think about the 26 Ultra, what they're gonna do, there's a high probability they're not gonna do much in terms of changes on the phone. And I don't know if they can do much. I've always mentioned putting a display on the back that you can use for the back display, to use the back cameras, to look at notifications, stuff like that. But I mean, even if they do that, they can't do much more with this. They've kind of maximized the potential of these phones. They can make them thinner, I guess, until they're just a display. That would probably be another monumental change. But other than that, it's going to be pretty much the same. And you can probably bet 25 Ultra is probably going to end up on the best phones of the year for people for 2025. It usually does. The 24 Ultra is a great phone. We've got two big stories for you. The first one has to do with the Galaxy S25 Ultra and how it's going to be the best in two categories come in 2025, and it's not even out. And they can say this. This is pretty impressive. So the information that's coming out from Ice Universe is that the S25 Ultra will be the thinnest and lightest of all Ultra flagship phones to be released soon, including the iPhone 16 Pro Max and the Pixel 9 Pro XL. And it seems like Samsung's really going in hard with being thinner and lighter and not giving us what we truly, really want. I mean, do I want my phone to be thinner and lighter? Yes, but at the expense of not putting in the best cameras, at the expense of not putting in a bigger battery, at the expense of not putting in this or that. That's where I draw the line. I love that stuff, but at the same time, I'd rather have better components rather than thinner and lighter. I'm really fine with the way the S24 Ultra is in terms of its thickness and weight. I'm really fine with it. I would just want it to be better in almost every other way. I mean, it's a great phone, but everything can be improved. It's just a matter of engineering. It's a matter of technology. And I don't know why they don't do some of this. A faster charging I want in there. That it doesn't sound like that's probably going to come over to this phone potentially if they're making this phone thinner and lighter. What are your thoughts on this? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up is all about that Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 Slim, Z Fold 6 Ultra. We've heard its name. Now we know the official name, and it's neither one of those. And it's kind of a cool name, I have to admit. I think I like it. We also learned some confirmed specs about this phone and other things as well. So here is the information. It was a nice tweet put out by the ever so grumpy, but sometimes fun to watch tease people, EV Leaks. And EV Leaks put out a tweet, but I'm going to use this guy's tweet instead because it's just better compacted into one tweet. Alvin saying, based on EV Leaks posted Galaxy Z Fold 6 Slim or Ultra, it will be called the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition. I think that's great. It will have a larger display, 8-inch frame, inner display, and 6.5-inch cover screen, which we've heard before. It will also be thinner than the Fold at 10.6 millimeters when folded and 4.9 millimeters when unfolded. So some nice things coming out about that phone in terms of some specs. So it's going to be thinner, obviously lighter than the Galaxy Z Fold 6, but it's not going to be thinner than the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, so keep that in mind. And that also has an 8-inch display. I do love the name, the Z Fold Special Edition. I think that is a great name. And they don't even have to throw the number 6 in there. But now it might get a little confusing because if they do this next year, is it going to be the Z Fold Special Edition 2 or the Z Fold Special Edition 7? What is it going to be called? Especially if they have a Galaxy Z Fold 7. Or are they just going to completely change the name of the Z Fold line to be something different and we won't have the numbers anymore? That could be also what's happening, and this is a telltale sign of what it might be. But what do you guys think of the name? And are you really going to import this thing or not? Let us know. Our first story is the Galaxy Z Fold 6. I finally got my first update, and it ended up being a security update, which was what we would kind of expected at this point. Overall stability of your device has been improved. The security of your device has been improved, but it also says it's not limited to device stability, new and other enhanced features, further improvements of performance. And the update was 454 megs, and I got it late last night. Or actually in the morning, I guess today. I woke up at like 2 in the morning for a real quick second, and I noticed that I got the update, and I did the update. I haven't noticed anything in particular added, fixed, or removed, but still, check your Galaxy Z Fold 6 if you're in America at the very least. This update also was already pushed out in Korea and I assume other parts of the world. Now, if you haven't been hearing, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 hasn't really been selling that well. The sales for the Z Fold 5 and Z Fold 6 have been down year over year. And there was a tweet put out by Anthony the Galax who said, hey, Samsung, want to turn back the declining Z series? Follow these steps. Reduce the Z Fold 6 to $1599. Release the Z Fold Special Edition as the Z Fold 6 Ultra globally for $1899 and expand the marketing beyond just AI features. And I have to think about this one. I would say that you'd have to probably, I agree with the price decrease. I think that's one of the major things keeping people away from this. Marketing it with AI features, they kind of do that with all the phones right now, and I think that's the hot topic with everybody. Apple included will be promoting AI features a lot, and again, everyone else is kind of doing the same thing for the most part. And there's only so many things you can say. I mean, you can say the camera's better, you can do this, but I mean, you have to expand that as well so to keep people's interest going. But beyond the marketing side of it, I think the major point is to probably, have a Z Fold 6 and a Z Fold 6 Ultra, or whatever version they're on at that point, 7 Ultra. I think with the basic Z Fold 6, that should probably be down to maybe, let's go crazy here, $1399, and the Ultra comes in at $1599 with crazy specs. Maybe it doesn't have S Pen support, but it's thinner, it's lighter, it's got better cameras, it's got some added features, whatever those may be. You have to differentiate the two. Bigger screens on the Ultra, smaller on the regular 6, but the 6 gets the S Pen. I don't know what you want to do. Maybe you want to throw the S Pen in the Ultra because you're calling it an Ultra. But ultimately, definitely differentiate the two, and that probably would help. But the price, I think, is the hugest, the biggest thing that's really keeping these phones to being sellout successes or being more popular in that regard. I also think that, with these big phones, I think the females are probably turned off by a little bit because of how big it is, the phone that is. Don't get your minds dirty. The other problem with it is, in terms of it being so big, is that, it can break. It's mechanical. But they've been good about giving us free insurance this year. So I don't know. What do you guys think about them getting more sales for the Z Fold 6? Now, speaking of the special edition Galaxy Z Fold 6, also known as previously the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra, the Galaxy Z Fold 6 Slim. We've heard about the cameras, and this is slightly infuriating for me anyway, even though I like the cameras on the Z Fold 6, and that is that the cameras on the Z Fold 6 Special Edition are due to be the same or nearly identical as the S24 Ultra with a 200 megapixel wide angle camera, not ultra wide, but just they call it a wide angle, 2x optical quality zoom camera. So it's literally going to be an S24 Ultra camera on this Special Edition Z Fold 6. Man, there's really, of course you could say price, and maybe it's going to throw off the engineering of the back of the phone because the camera's going to stick out. But that's so infuriating. You know, we spend so much money on these phones. You spend basically $1,700-1,800 before trade-in, sometimes more, sometimes less. And you don't get the best, especially with the cameras. And then you hear months later that that phone's going to get the best camera. It's annoying. Super annoying. Yeah, and I know that the special edition will be more expensive, but it's still really, really annoying. The Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition, also could be known as the Galaxy Z Fold Ultra or Slim, but we know it's going to be called the Special Edition, has gotten better and better and better as time has gone on and more information has been leaked out about this phone. This is definitely an Ultra phone, and I say that for a few reasons, because of some things that have been announced in the past and also some new things that have been announced today. So here's a little breakdown of some of the things. Obviously, we've got the bigger display. It's going to be 8 inches on the inside, 6.5 inches on the outside. So both much bigger than what you get with the current Z Fold 6. It's also thinner and it's lighter than the Galaxy Z Fold 6. Also, don't forget about the 200 megapixel camera. So basically as Ultra, S24 Ultra type cameras on the Z Fold 6, which the Z Fold 6 does not. The regular Z Fold 6 has, like, I think, what is it, a 50 megapixel camera, I think. And then to continue on with that, and this is just one of the new things we heard about today, rumored to get UFG, which is thicker than UTG, except in the seam area, which will help with scratch resistance, durability, and seam visibility. UFG refers to ultra thin glass with uneven thickness, thinner in the seam where it folds, thicker elsewhere to enable a thicker chemical strengthening, resulting in improved scratch resistance and better durability. So the new screen on the Z Fold 6 Special Edition versus the Z Fold 6 will be more scratch resistant, so it's going to be better with scratches, and it's also going to be more durable, so if you break it, it'll be less chance of breaking it as well, which is awesome. But again, we are not done. If you've been wanting S Pen support on this Ultra type phone, it has it. Per Ice Universe, Z Fold Special Edition will support S Pen. So you can buy an S Pen and it will support it. And that was one of the maybe big takeaways we've been hearing for a long time, is that it wouldn't support S Pen, but now it looks like it does. So let's do a little recap of everything that the Z Fold Special Edition has that the Z Fold 6 does not. The 8-inch display, which I've always wanted, I'm okay, maybe not always thinking of 8 inches, but I always wanted the bigger display. 6.5-inch display on the outside. I've wanted that too, a much bigger display. It's got ultra cameras, meaning it's got the 200 megapixel camera, same as the S24 Ultra. I've been wanting that, craving that. More durability and scratch resistant on the displays. Who wouldn't want that? And then something I know a lot of you guys want, S Pen support. At this point, if this has a good price to import, I might have to import this thing, because this is everything I've wanted in a Samsung phone that I can think of. And it's crazy that we're not getting that. We didn't get that this year with the Z Fold 6. Z Fold 6 is a great phone, but that special edition looks bad ace. Looks awesome. Looks so freaking good. I gotta know what you guys think about this in the comments down below. Pissed? Excited? Are you importing it? Not importing it? Do you don't care? Let us know, because I think this is a telltale sign that hopefully this is something good to come to the Western world, because this phone with the Z Fold Special Edition is only going to be coming out in China and South Korea, but you should somewhere in the world be able to import it or buy it on eBay or something like that. We heard yesterday about the Galaxy Fold Special Edition gonna get S Pen support. We talked about that yesterday, but we also heard that there was gonna be no digitizer inside of the display of the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition, whereas when the Galaxy Z Fold 6, that has it. S24 Ultra has it as well. Well, how are they actually doing this? Because it's kind of an interesting, and I guess somewhat new technology, at least on the phone side. This coming from Ross Young saying no digitizer to reduce thickness and cost. So they have come up with another way to make the S Pen work. And again, he's talking about the Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition. And just to throw a little context in here, Sam Mobile put out an article, and they kind of define it really well, saying that the devices like the S24 Ultra and Z Fold 6 offer an S Pen support through an active stylus method and a digitizer embedded in the screen. In layman's terms, this means that the S Pen has its own power source and there's a more complex connection happening between the tip of the stylus and the screen. This combination enables more advanced features. And really, when you think about this device is just, I think, what we've been expecting and wanting in a foldable phone, and some of the things that we've wanted carried over and improved. This phone theoretically has it. Again, it has that S24 Ultra camera. We've been wanting an Ultra camera experience on there. It has S Pen support, and the way it's getting the S Pen support is, again, a somewhat seemingly new technology that Samsung is using. It could be something carried over from their Fan Edition tablets, but regardless, it still has some kind of S Pen usage on the display. It does have the bigger displays as well, and it's thinner and lighter, 8 inches and 6.5 on the outside. And then you're talking about 8 Gen 3 processor in there from Snapdragon, which is kind of weird because reportedly the 8 Gen 4 launches in November, and I'm kind of surprised they wouldn't just wait until November and be like, here you go, you have the best, the best, the best, the best. That's one of the weird points about this. 16 gigs of RAM, a ton of storage, probably 512, 1 terabyte of storage. There's a lot in this phone that is a good slap in the face at this point. I was hoping and seemingly it didn't seem like it would be a slap in the face, but let's be honest, it's a slap in the face. It's rewarding two countries, South Korea, which is obviously where Samsung's from, and China. China more so because China's getting the most of this device, and saying, hey, America, Europe, wherever else, you guys can have more or less the same phone for the last 5 years. It's kind of a slap in the face, let's be honest about it. Z Fold 6 is still, I'll stick to my guns, is an awesome phone, really good, the best of the bunch that they've ever released. But when this phone comes out, it'd be hard pressed to say this phone doesn't blow it away in almost every single way, or it equals or kills it. You gotta say that, it's gonna be. A user on Reddit was cool enough to create a size comparison of what the Galaxy Z Fold 6 on the outside and inside displays will look like versus the upcoming Samsung Galaxy Z Fold Special Edition. And there's a pretty big difference in this. And if you were hoping that the whiny bee hour would be here, it is here, and get ready for me to be upset. Let's go. Here we go, guys. This is the outside display. Remember, 6.3 inch, that's the green one, and the purple one is the 6.5 inch of the Fold SE, also known as Special Edition. Now, when you look at the image, you're not like, you know what? Not really missing that much. Think of this on scale. Think of this in real life. Think of this in your hand. It's going to be quite sizable, and you're gonna notice some big differences, and it's gonna be pretty special when you use that outside display. A couple of things that are gonna be improved because the Fold 6 already brought these changes, as the keyboard's going to be bigger. Viewing videos and using apps is gonna be more usable and more comfortable. And it's just gonna be a better overall experience. And that's why they're giving you a bigger display, is to give you a better experience, especially on that outside display, because it is still kind of too small. I want it to be bigger. It's better, don't get me wrong, on the Fold 6, but the Fold SE is obviously making that step in a much bigger, better direction for outside usage on the cover display. Now on the inside display, again, you look at it, you're probably like, dude, really not that big a difference. The purple one is the Galaxy Z Fold 6. The green one is the Galaxy Fold SE Special Edition phone. And you have to think real life. This is gonna be a gigantic difference. 7.6 on the Fold 6, and then 8 inches on the Fold SE. And I think about this, I see this, it's really, really making me want to be like, you know what? At first I was like, hey, I'm not going to import it. Now I'm on the other end, really, at this point, as each leak comes out and each little instance of information comes out about this phone, I want to import it. It just looks so awesome with what and I haven't even physically seen the phone. No one has physically seen the phone that has leaked any information. Everything we've seen is people kind of just either giving us specs or telling us features about the phone or giving these little, images of what to expect and see based off information that we know with dimensions and sizes. But this is a Galaxy Z Fold 6 on steroids. This is a Galaxy Z Fold 6 Ultra. Call it what it is, because that's exactly what it is. S Pen, remember, it's got the new S Pen features built into it, meaning that it doesn't have a digitizer built into the display, but it has another form of technology that allows you to use an S Pen on the screen. I'm curious if you can even use the S Pen on the outer screen. I know some of you guys, when the new Galaxy Z Folds come out, one of the big questions you guys always have, or some of you, is that does the S Pen work on the outside display? And it's always no, but maybe it will on this one. We don't know, especially with the technology that they have built in to the displays. It wouldn't surprise me at all, but I mean, we'll wait until it comes out, especially with it being a bigger display. And then you still get that Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, which would have been great if they wait a little bit longer and grab the 8 Gen 4, bigger displays, probably gonna be brighter displays, or at least the same brightness, better cameras. This phone looks awesome. I don't think have to import it. Unless it's, like I said, it's crazy, crazy expensive. I might have to try to import this thing. This thing looks like a beast. What do you guys think about this size comparison? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think it's not enough? Do you think it looks crazy big in a good way or bad way? Let me know. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.